Well, guys, the mass public opposition to Starmer's digital ID papers, please nanny state bollocks is forcing them to pull out every desperate trick as the backlash continues to grow. This is great because the more they have to come out and defend it, the more people will see through it, and more importantly, who's really behind it.
And change is inevitable. This is where technology, like digital ID, becomes critical.
This is ID cards by the back door, isn't it?
Look, I was then, I remain even more convinced today, particularly with biometric technology. The world will move to biometric ID, and they'll do it because in the end it's better for people. I think there's a huge impetus now for a national digital infrastructure. Digitization in healthcare is, I think, one of the great game changers. We should be helping countries to develop a national digital infrastructure, which they will need with these new vaccines.
The benefits are clear. Digital ID will make our interactions with each other and with the state faster, cheaper, and more reliable. It will allow us to judge who has a right to be in our country and who doesn't, and so solves one of the major challenges of immigration.
Yeah, that's the sort of odd goblin in a human skin suit that wants this shit in place, which when coupled with Starmer's unpopularity should see the end of this with any sort of luck. And I remain hopeful because naturally the smooth-brained idiots within the current Labour Party are making it easy for us all to call that, since they can't help but admit it's going to be everything they say it won't be.
We will learn from the experiences of other countries, some of whom have had digital ID for over 20 years. Many show us just how transformative this can be. In Denmark, a graduate applying for jobs only has to log into a portal once, and their ID automatically links to their school records, saving them retyping their qualifications each time. In Finland, a parent can go online to register their children for daycare without uploading a payslip or putting in their salary, and the site automatically calculates the right fee. And in Estonia, a digital ID means that when you have a baby, you don't have to go to a local office to register the birth or sign up for childcare benefits or apply for nursery places. It happens automatically from day one in the hospital, so parents are free to focus on what matters most.
I mean, first we had Sakir Shitweasel admitting it can be used to access your own money like they do in other countries. But more on the nose, I think, is their response ignoring the petition and the demands of that. In it they say, over time people will be able to use it to seamlessly access a range of public and private sector services, with the aim of making our everyday lives easier and more secure. It will not be compulsory to obtain a digital ID, but it will be mandatory for some applications. Oh yeah, what they said was to stop illegal immigrants, and it's just for starting work has quickly morphed into access for both public and private services, before telling us it won't be compulsory but will be mandatory for some things. Contradicting themselves as far as I can tell, but it's Labour. Breeze blocks have more intelligence, let's be honest. But that's not all relating to this, because we also had reports over the last week or so that are not only saying the made-up public support for digital ID has totally shat the bed thanks to Starmer, but even large companies many expected to be balls deep in this are shitting all over Labour and this undemocratic push to digitally brand us all like bloody cow. The company involved with this rejection is Plantier, who, before anyone thinks they're some great beacon of moral compass, they bloody ain't. They can just see this policy's a complete shitshow hated by almost everyone and so want no part of it. Which did actually make me laugh, because it shows digital ID is more toxic to companies than housing illegal immigrants in your hotels, as these digital ID contracts will be worth billions and forever if Labour had their way, but still companies don't want no part of it. Of course, Labour are open to make this system in-house because big state is what they want, being a bunch of bloody commies. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I trust as little as I do a private company making it. I mean, do you trust our governmental clowns to create anything useful? Because I bloody don't. Shit, industry people don't either, as they've stated what anyone with half a brain cell knew from the start about this shit getting hacked. Computer Weekly revealed earlier this year that the National Cybersecurity Centre has in the past raised serious security concerns over one login, and that a security exercise conducted by an external consultancy in March showed that one login could be hacked without being detected. So, in what will likely shock few, the system these clowns want to store and pass around our data is a worthless piece of shit that can be hacked without the incompetent imbeciles in charge of it even knowing about it. This should send alarm bells ringing to all around the country, because if it gets hacked, it would be like someone hacking every site and account you own in one hit. The hacker would literally know more about you than you know about your bloody self, which is why the government wants this, of course. They want to know everything about you and what you do. They don't give a shit if it gets hacked though, well, outside of the political shitstorm it would bring on them until the next scandal hits and attention goes on to that. Which is why, above all else, I'm dead set against this, because remember with it, you won't be able to criticise the government on anything without them bloody knowing about it. Us complaining about immigration will see us sharing a cell, I'm sure.
Pandemic